Another week in the books as we're now at the midway point, or maybe officially a little ahead of the midway point of the college football season. A lot of stuff went down yesterday. We had a lot of upsets, a lot of Oklahoma people really upset. I done a podcast earlier today. Y'all check that out. I released it at 4 o'clock. Already got a bunch of unsubscribers, like 5 or 6. Right after Oklahoma loses, I'm like, man, what I do? I didn't have nothing to do with all that. But the big news of the day is not even Alabama and Oklahoma, although Alabama looks like they're surging and made some pretty ballsy calls yesterday in the fourth quarter on 2 fourth-down conversions that ended up leading to the victory. But let's go ahead and bring up the biggest news of the day, and then we'll bring in our boy Killer Breeze, and we may bring in a Texas connection later on in the show and get his take on the situation at Oklahoma and who's to blame. But let's go ahead and check this out real quick.
Breaking news out of college football, where Penn State has fired head coach James Franklin. That is the latest from our Matt Zenitz. The Nittany Lions are off to a 3-3 start this season after coming into the year as the second-ranked team in the country. Franklin was in the midst of his 12th season in Happy Valley, which included a trip to the college football playoff semifinals just last year. He is now owed over $49 million as part of his buyout with Penn State. The Nittany Lions are back in action on Saturday in Iowa and will play their first game without Franklin since 2013.
Woo! So right out the gate today, already it's become a theme this college football season to not wait to the end of the season like it was back in the day when I was growing up. The etiquette's no longer there. They'll fire your ass right in the middle of the season. But let's go ahead and bring in Killer Breeze. You know, he had a bit of a rough day yesterday with his Oklahoma Sooners. Maybe that cheered him up a little bit because I know that James Franklin is one of those guys that he likes to grill. How's it going, brother?
It's going well, man. It was a rough day. It was a rough day yesterday. It looks like Penn State's got the jump on us in the head coaching search.
Yeah. Y'all could have lost to Northwestern, man. It could have been a lot worse. Yeah, back-to-back losses to UCLA and Northwestern.
Well, I mean, listen, clearly last week that was an alarming loss to lose to that UCLA team, which looks like maybe that put a little juice in there. That win might have juiced them up a little bit.
Yeah, my prediction video actually spoke on that because Michigan State's a pretty crappy team. So to catch Michigan State right after a big win like that may propel them to having a decent year.
Yeah, you know, so, but yeah, you know, it was a bad day. But anyway, I'm not surprised that they got rid of James Franklin. I think James Franklin is, you know, a largely overrated. Well, you know, it's funny because it just depends on what you see as good or average, or, you know, he does win games and way more games than he loses, or at least before now. But he never won the big game, or he played poorly in the big games with the stiffer competition. So I don't know that he's a terrible coach, but he's not a national championship level coach. You gotta imagine that if he was ever able to put together a good enough roster to win a national championship, he'd be a one-hit wonder at best, and probably never even achieves that. So I'm not terribly surprised when you lose to the kind of loss they had last week, followed by a loss to Northwestern. Man, you were the preseason number. Well, they were number 2, right?
I think that might have been the first time that Northwestern's ever beat them, too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that.
That wouldn't surprise me. So, I mean, you know, clearly he's lost the locker room. They're dysfunctional. You know, they're not. So.
Did you say that Penn State got the jump on y'all? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, man? You ain't about to fire poor old Brand, are you?
I'm just being realistic, man. I mean, what I saw yesterday was, look, here's the thing. I know that it's real easy to go, oh, we got a terrible offensive line. Well, obviously we have a really bad offensive line. I'm not arguing that. But what I am also saying is there's still better athletes than a lot of teams have. So it's one thing to be bad. They're not just bad. They are completely ineffective. They're getting worse. I mean, I've never seen anything like this before. I mean, these aren't just bad offenses. These are some of the worst offenses I have ever seen in my life at any level. Completely ineffective. Cannot run the ball at all. I mean, at all. And I just don't know. Like my thing is, if it's going to continue to, because it's not just bad, it's getting worse as the season goes on, which is weird to me. But I mean, man, they, in my opinion, like at a minimum, Bill Bedenbaugh, I mean, I know how good he's supposed to be or how good he's been in the past. But again, I find it hard to believe that the athletes we have are this bad. Something is wrong with the coaching. Same thing with the running back room and the tight end room. Our tight ends have been non-existent for us the entire time of Venable's career. That's all on Joe John Finley, in my opinion, and also on BV. As good as the defense, and look, here's the thing. Did the defense ultimately give up some bad plays? Yeah, I think they did. But, I mean, goddamn, they started getting tired when dude, do you know how many plays that they ran in the third quarter? Do you know how many offensive plays Oklahoma ran in the third quarter? Take a guess.
I don't know, 12.
4. They ran 4 offensive plays in the third quarter. I mean, they could not move the ball at all. So I don't see how it's going to get. I mean, now, I just don't know how it gets good enough
Well,
to win games.
I done a video earlier today, and that's why I was late getting on here. I wanted to try to get a video out as well as do this live stream. And there was a lot of things being said on the internet and the blame being thrown around. The running game, as you mentioned, it was one of my things I wrote down. A lot of people wanting to fire DeMarco Murray because they said he hadn't had a 1,000-yard rusher in his time at Oklahoma yet. And then the Bill Bedenbaugh stuff. But, a lot of people were hyping him up a couple of years ago. He was like he was the greatest thing since sliced bread, So that's why I'm struggling with the Bill Bedenbaugh thing, because a lot of people, it seemed like they liked him for a long time there.
He was good, dude. There was at a time when he was when he was not just good, he was really good, and there were a lot of people that considered him to be maybe the best offensive line coach in the country, man. But again, like, we're just at a point now where it doesn't matter if he's good enough really or not. Like, all that matters is the product on the field. And dude, I'm like at a point now, like, the other thing that's pissing me off is we heard all throughout camp how good some of these guys were, and things like the Jaden Ott, debacle. Like, clearly they're not evaluating talent well either. I mean, like, it's just a mess on the offensive side of the ball, man. And again, like, what I really don't understand is why it's getting so much worse. It's so much worse than it was in the beginning of the year.
I mean, you called it earlier in the year when they beat Michigan. You sort of tempered the expectations because John Mateer had to do all the rushing, and you can't just keep throwing it on him because he'll end up getting injured, which he did. And that's another thing. I feel like maybe Mateer, everybody's trying to blame Mateer, but I think he was rushed back a little too fast.
He was.
Once again, like you said, that lies on the head coach. Now, I was bragging on Brent because Brent was saying we're going to make this a slow process and bring him along at the rate he's supposed to. But I think maybe Brent got to thinking about it and was like, man, I really need this win. I'm going to go ahead and push Mateer in there. And that's what you got. The guy's hand was bleeding during the game.
Oh, yeah. It got worse and worse. His pants got more red and more red as the game went on because he's wiping the blood on the back of his pants.
At least if y'all had played Hawkins, y'all would have had a legit reason to have lost that game. Now they're not going to believe you, even though I think Mateer is still not 100%.
But dude, this whole thing, like, once again, like, here's another thing. Like, man, there's just so many things where all of a sudden this, like, exposed Brent BV for, like, like with the Mateer thing, if you're going to bring Mateer back, why in the hell are you listing him? You're practicing indoors, but you go ahead and list him probable on Thursday? Why in the hell did you do that? Why didn't you just keep him questionable until game day? Why did you give that away? You basically gave that away. What I don't even understand that part of it. Like the gamesmanship was so poor on our part this whole time. And again, like like we rushed him back, and he obviously was too fast. And to your point, which I think is a good one, why don't you at least start the game with Mike Hawkins and see how he's doing? If it's just going horribly and Mateer can technically play, then okay, maybe you bring him in the second half or something, But if you can start Hawkins and you can get through the game, I mean, I had this thought before. It seemed to me that this would be the thing to do. But I also understood how much of a momentum it would be if all of a sudden Mateer comes out when people really didn't know whether he was going to start or not. But you give all of that momentum away, all of that excitement when you list a dude as probable on Thursday. Now there's no mystery. He's going to start. There was no doubt he was going to start.
Well, but one thing that bothered me was the time management. I know I keep harping on this right there at the end of the half.
Well,
I know there's no guarantee that they were going to score a touchdown there, but I didn't have a problem with – a lot of people's like, man, he should have kicked the field goal. I didn't have a problem with him going for the touchdown. It's just how he went about doing it. He got down there in the spot he was at, and instead of rushing down there and doing an up-tempo play and keeping the defense on their heels and throwing it into the end zone, he called a timeout and give the defense time to adjust itself, then threw the ball into the end zone and got an interception. If the defense had been on its heels in that position in an up-tempo play, you could have threw it into the end zone and got a first down and then called a timeout. You shouldn't have called the timeout before the play for the end zone. You should have called the timeout after the play, then kicked the field goal.
They absolutely should have gone for a touchdown. But they wasted so much time off the clock. They should have been trying to get just methodical plays, little out routes, taking what they get. You had it.
I didn't understand that. Why would you run off 15 seconds of the clock when you got like 25, 30 seconds left? That's plenty of time to run maybe even two plays before you kick the field goal.
But even then, dude, this is something Brent Venables has not been great at this entire time. I love BV, dude. I want BV. I wanted it to work. I mean, I said on your show, because Arbuckle was not I thought that was a risky move because of his youth and inexperience. At best, he had a couple of good years at some small programs. There was no track record of even continued success at a lower level. And I said on your show, BV better know what he's doing with his evaluation of Arbuckle, because he is really tying his wagon. And here's the other thing. Mateer or not, Ben Arbuckle's offense is less than impressive, dude. It has not been good. It has not been great. The running back, the running game, which he was supposedly committed to, he does not seem to know how to install an offense, and on game day how to put together a game plan and build an offense from start. Put in some core plays and then start building wrinkles off of those plays, and he does not seem to be able to do that. I'm just so annoyed. Again, man, like the offensive side just isn't good enough. And BV, this is,
Well, like I said, I mean, there's no guarantee y'all will score a touchdown. I just think if you hadn't to give up those 15 seconds, I think y'all might have scored a touchdown. And that changes the whole complexion of the game. People's like, yeah, but they still scored 23. They may not score like that coming out of the second half if they're pressed. If Texas comes out feeling pressed and they're down 13-3, things change a lot. I mean, that changed the whole complexion of the game to me, that whole sequence right before halftime. I hate to keep harping on that, but that just seemed like it just – I don't know, man. It seemed like it was a complete joy kill.
Thunder has a point here. Brent Venables should have made Cale Gundy the OC when he first got there. Honestly, I don't disagree with that. Cale Gundy called a great offensive game in the bowl game when Tebow left, and I totally agree with that. And I also agree with his next comment. Bad hires are going to get Brent Venables fired. I agree.
Well, I believe.
And here's the other thing.
Keeping Jim John, whatever his name is, Joe John Finley.
Yes.
That's the old school, good old boy network that they need to chill out with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they should have let Arbuckle hire his own offensive staff. Why did you bring Arbuckle in if you were going to make him work with DeMarco and Beatonbow and Joe John? At least give him the option to keep those guys on staff or not. But I don't know, which is a fair point. I don't know whether Arbuckle is getting a fair shake because maybe he doesn't like these guys. I know as sure as hell I don't like those guys right now.
I feel like the material had been allowed to set one more week, and I know this is a huge game for Brent Venables and his coaching career. I think it would have been better because at least at that point, if y'all do lose to Texas, you can sort of stomach it.
You got a reason.
You can stomach it a lot better if you lose with him not in the game. And then who knows, later on in the season, as I mentioned in my podcast earlier, with the way the season is now with 12 teams in the playoffs, you could get a rematch with Texas at some point, just like y'all did in that Big 12 title game.
Dude, there's no doubt, like, losing to Texas, I mean, to be fair, and this is still the case for Oklahoma, one loss, we expected 2 or 3, and we were talking about maybe playoffs at 2 or 3 losses. So one loss is not the end of the world, no matter who it's to.
Lance Flores says he don't see another win for you. I disagree with that.
That's what worries me is that, I mean, I'm going, well, if our offense is that bad moving the ball, now granted, Texas may have Texas may have one of the best defenses left that we're still going to see besides maybe Alabama in terms of the front. So, but still, our offense looks so bad, dude.
I think y'all will beat South Carolina. They haven't looked good at all this year. I think y'all probably handled them.
We couldn't run the ball against Kent State, man.
Well, just like last year, y'all had a worse team last year and a worse quarterback, and y'all ended up beating Alabama. So the season is not really over. It just sucks. Like I mentioned to you before, and I mentioned it in the podcast, and I know this pisses people off when I bring it up, but playing your main rival in the middle of the year sort of sometimes can, put a damper on the rest of the season. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't, but you just don't know how the pendulum's going to swing with these players when they lose a game like that. So I'm always like, why can't you just move the Texas game to the end of the year? I know it's tied in with the Texas State Fair, but to me, Oklahoma's football program is more important than being tied to the Texas State Fair at this point.
All right, yeah.
And y'all can still play it in Dallas. Just play it at the end of the year. That way it don't put a damper on your whole season.
But you just got to be realistic. Based on what you saw yesterday, the offense just, and again, it does affect the defense. The defense cannot stay sharp like that if you're only running 4 offensive plays a quarter. I mean, I can't believe that. 4 offensive plays in the third quarter. I mean, that is just so unbelievable to me that we are just that bad at moving the football. And I mean, again, how far can you really get if you're a one-dimensional team against good talent? That's just, it's such a big handicap.
Miss Shirley makes a good point, and this is what I'm basically saying, but it's because I'm not an Oklahoma fan. I like Oklahoma a lot. But she says, y'all acting like this defines us. It doesn't define us. But it is a big loss. I mean, it's just like when Alabama loses to Auburn. Yeah, it don't define us, but it sure puts a shit stain on the rest of our year when we lose
With
to
all
Auburn.
due respect, when before BV got here, in the last 25 games, we were 17 wins, 8 losses. In the BV era, we are 1 win, 3 losses. If this doesn't define us, losing to Texas sure as hell is starting to define BV. And I promise you this, you ain't going to stay around at Oklahoma very long, especially losing like this. Dude, we haven't scored a touchdown in 3 of the 4 games. Not one touchdown. That is unbelievable to me.
Appalachia Africa Twin says losing to Texas isn't near as bad as his team, West Virginia, losing to the Ohio Bobcats. Yeah, it could be worse. It could be like Penn State losing Northwestern and stuff. And like Miss Shirley says here, this is something I pointed out in the video before the game. Now the Texas Longhorn fans are coming in saying that didn't age well. What didn't age well? I said that Texas's backs was against the wall and they needed this win a lot more than Oklahoma, and that was the case. Texas was hungrier. Material wasn't ready. Our O-line was off. We don't have a running game. That's a problem. But to write us off after one game is ridiculous.
No, I agree.
I mean, with a 12-team playoff, if y'all just lose 2, even 3 games this year, especially with strength of schedule being a bigger thing now, third loss, you could probably still get in the playoffs, especially if you're in the SEC.
Well, I promise you this. BV better do whatever he needs to do to get to 9 wins because, man, you just can't, if all of our losses start looking like the way we looked against Texas, I don't know if 8 wins is enough for him. With a new AD coming in, they might bite the bullet and buy him out. And although, that's getting more increasingly difficult in the NIL era because of the, money you got to come up with for that. So buyouts now are, not quite as easy as they used to be. So maybe he's not going anywhere. And I don't want BV to have to be fired, but I'm sick of this on offense. I'm sick of this. This not being able to run the ball thing and having a shitty offensive line, I'm over it. I don't care.
It's like he tries to hold on to these guys too by resituating them on the staff to try to hide them from you. It's like a sleight of hand, like a magic trick with Joe John Finley. And then you got DeMarco Murray that he has a lot of loyalty to for some reason, I guess because he's an Oklahoma guy. But if you're not getting the job done, you're just not getting the job done. Chris Camp comes in here, and he's an Alabama fan like me. He says Oklahoma's going to get humbled in T-Town on homecoming. So I don't know, man. I wouldn't be too confident about that because last year, Oklahoma didn't look very good last year, and they ended up beating us by 21. So that's why I said the SEC, man, didn't need to go to 9 games because this is going to happen every year where the SEC teams are beating up on each other, and that's what they want. That way they don't have to deal with us in the playoffs if we knock each other out. But switching gears just a little bit for just a second. I know you're still a little wired up and probably have a few more things you want to get off your chest about this situation with Oklahoma, but I just want to ask you about my team, just to know a little positive here. Alabama, they only beat Missouri by 3 yesterday. They almost shit the bed and let them come back with some piss poor prevent defense at the 3-minute mark, which you're not supposed to do. But that last drive where we went up by 10 was pretty impressive to me, considering. I mean, it took a lot of gall balls to go for it on 4th and 8 at your 35, and then turn around and go for it on 4th down at the 2-yard line, and instead of kicking a field goal. Do you think that Kalen DeBoer has finally come into his own, and maybe he's just like, screw it, I'm just going to call this game the way I called it in Washington? What do you see with Alabama?
Well, I think he's just, I think he's just, he is, he's settling in. It takes a little while, especially when you're following a giant like Nick Saban. Some consider the best ever, not just at Alabama, the best ever. It's pretty tough to follow that. And also the differences with the SEC from where he was coming from in the Pac-12 and the Big Ten, so yeah, I think he looks more. He looks like he's. I think he looks a little more comfortable to me. If that, it sounds weird, but he does look a little more comfortable to me. And I do think I think it was going so poorly, in the very beginning after Florida State. I think he was just like, you know what? I got nothing to lose here.
We had that offensive lineman actually line up at quarterback yesterday. So that guy has lined up at quarterback wide receiver and running back. He's got this little refrigerator Perry thing going on with Caden Proctor. And I think it also has a lot to do with Ryan Grubb coming back on his staff. They'd been together since, he'd started being a head coach. And, he sort of left us and went to the Seahawks. And then he came back this year. And maybe, there's more comfortability there with him and Ryan Grubb.
Well, I mean, man, one of the things is, you got to know when you're working together, in some kind of team environment where you got to count on the people next to you, being comfortable and knowing that those people have your back and believe in you, that's a big deal. That's not a small thing. And if that brings more of that for him, then that's the right thing to do. And again, that brings me right back to what I was saying about, Ben Arbuckle not being able to hire who he wants to hire to run the running back room and the tight end room and the offensive line and, down the line. Maybe that's part of the problem. Because again, I expected more from this offense. I did. I expected a little more, especially since Mateer and Arbuckle are in year 3 together. I expected it to be better.
Well, since we're swinging back towards Oklahoma again, let me ask you this.
Sorry, dude. I don't mean to do that, man. I'm just, it's just all.
I understand. Well, it's just like me with Alabama. I want to talk about Alabama.
No. We can talk about. We don't have to go back to Oklahoma.
No. I got a question though that I forgot to ask you about Oklahoma.
Okay.
And that is, I wrote it in my notes. I'm trying to think. I know at the beginning of the year we said that maybe 8-4, 9-3 would keep his job, but at this point, when you start 5-0 like that and get everybody's hopes up, you're on the brink of the top 5. Will 8-4 keep his job?
No, I don't. That's what I think, especially if the losses look like they did yesterday to Texas. If you get 3 more of those, and you got 4 losses where we just look inept. No, I don't think it's enough. I just don't think it's good enough. It's he's got to do better than that. He just does. Again, man, it shouldn't be this hard to make us look better than this on offense. This is ridiculous.
Well, he's taking, like you said, he's taking unnecessary chances. He's worried about the good old boy network, and at the same time, he's just like Ben Arbuckle. Like you said, he was decent at Washington State, but he really hadn't been an offensive coordinator that long. He ain't but 30 years old. So, yeah. I mean, he's sort of still unproven in a way. Appalachia Africa Twins in the house. I ain't seen him in a while. I was going to let you know, Appalachia Africa Twin, I know you usually donate to the program for the super chat. I was going to let y'all know we're unable to take those at this time because they demonetized my channel for resharing Charlie Kirk TikTok videos on my short section. So now the only way we can get donations is through my Cash App, which is in the scroll down here. You'll see it. It's money $ JPC 316 on Cash App. And also I'm on Venmo under JPC 316. Sorry about that, Killer.
No, to go back to what you were talking about with Alabama, you got to feel good about where, how Alabama is looking. I mean, it does look like the Florida State loss now is going to kind of maybe serve to just wake them up a little bit, get the boar in the right frame of mind. And I mean, man, heading into the back half of the schedule, you got to feel pretty good about where Alabama sits, especially about making the playoff.
I mean, we got a real hard road to hoe, just like y'all do. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we catch another loss or two, maybe even this week against Tennessee. Although Tennessee's defense hasn't looked really good, they almost let Arkansas come back and win. That brings me back to Appalachia Africa Twin. He's got a little comment here that I want you to respond to. He says, Texas A&M is looking like a solid ball team. Don't sell them short. And I'm still saying the Vols go 11-1. Joey Aguilar is balling. What do you take on that?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Tennessee could run the table. They've looked pretty good in the games that they've won, although they kind of seems like the last couple of games they've been kind of exposed a little bit as maybe having some weaknesses, certainly having the capability of playing bad or playing badly. A&M, though, on the other hand, again, A&M's never had a lack of talent, at least not lately. And so, maybe Elko is maybe Elko is a good coach. Maybe he's proven out to be the right choice, that they made the right choice bringing him in. I'm kind of curious, man. Normally, it's not all that uncommon for me to see A&M start off strong in a season. Will they finish strong? That's the trick for A&M, because that's the part they've never really been able to do. So I think it would be foolish to overlook A&M. I think that's a good point, because they certainly do look like they could be the real deal.
The thing about it is Alabama don't have to play A&M, so we don't have to worry about that unless we're playing the SEC title game or something.
Yeah, Marcel Reed is the real deal. He looks legit. So, I could see A&M. I could see A&M winning the SEC.
They've never done it before. They've never even been in the SEC title game. I'm not a big fan of those conference title games anymore because
that's the first time for everything, And again,
they're going to go ahead and get it in because I think they're going to do away with them when they go to 16 teams in the playoffs. I think they're going to do away with that shit.
They should. They should at that point. It's too many games.
Miss Shirley says the OU defense was off yesterday too. Who was calling those plays? I know BV has been doing it. Did he take the day off or what?
Well, but really,
y'all get one sack.
Yeah, we got one. If you think about it, though, it's really a tale of two halves. Now, the push that the defensive front was supposed to get never really did materialize in the first half either. But in the first half, we outplayed them. We were the better team in the first half. It's how poorly we came out in the second half. Texas made some great adjustments, and we didn't. That's bad, And, man, they only scored one damn touchdown, offensive touchdown. The other one was a punt return, which, there were two glaring blocks in the back where you can see the OU players in front of the player, and then they're just out of the fucking, out of the way. But whatever. Certainly that one play didn't cause them to lose the game. But they just, second half was just atrocious, man. It was atrocious.
Well, I mean, the defense didn't really play that bad. I mean, one of the touchdowns that was given up was on special teams. So if you take that away, it's really only 16 points.
That's what I'm saying. And they held them to 3 points in the first half, So, I mean.
It's not all about sacking the quarterback all the time.
No, because they did have.
The field on third down is the big thing.
They did have, it was something like 20, I think 24, 25 pressures and they were getting pressure. They just didn't materialize in the sacks. And man, unfortunately, that's the worst tackling I've seen them do in a long time. I mean, the long running play, our best defensive end, R. Mason Thomas, literally tries to arm tackle and guy just runs right out of his arms. And Robert Spears Jennings had several missed tackles because he wasn't wrapping up. Like, I don't know what was going on there. So, keep in mind, everyone, because I made a point of going into a lot of Longhorn chat rooms before leading up to the game, and it wasn't one of those Longhorn fans that was saying anything other than their team sucked, that there's no way their team was going to do anything the rest of the year, that they had problems that couldn't be fixed quickly. So, from week to week, it can change, but man, they got to do a lot of changing.
Lonesome Darkness says, I don't feel good about having to play Tennessee without Jam Miller. Is Jam Miller listed as being out of that game? I don't know. Maybe you know more about it than I do, Lonesome. Is he actually listed as not starting? Because Alabama's starting to get our running game involved a little bit more. We're starting to be better at the running game. We were having the same issues that Oklahoma was having as far as our running back room. But it looked like we had it corrected a little bit with Jam Miller and Kevin Riley. But without Jam Miller, man, it sort of throws us into a situation where we don't really have as good a running game. And I think that's what you were saying about Oklahoma. You got to have a little semblance of a running game. You ain't got to be great. You ain't got to have a Herschel Walker or Adrian Peterson or any of those running backs. You just got to have a decent running game that can keep them honest and that's what Alabama had started developing. So I'm hoping that Jam Miller doesn't have to miss Tennessee because, like you said, Lawson, that's very worrisome.
Yeah,
because he got knocked out with a concussion in that game.
well, what was it? So obviously he's in. I mean, can you come back in 1 week if you have a concussion now?
I don't know. That's a question that I don't
know that you can come back in 1 week I think you have to sit out 1 week. I think maybe I'm wrong about that.
Well, if that's the case, then we may be in trouble. But Tennessee doesn't have real good defense, so.
No, I think y'all will be. I mean, man, that's what I'm saying. Tennessee certainly has not, has not looked great the last couple of weeks. They've or at least not consistently. They've had some good moments. I mean, they did come back and win yesterday. But
they're up 30.
I don't know. I feel like Alabama's looking like possibly the best team in the SEC. Ty Simpson's playing great. They obviously are loaded with talent, top tier talent.
Yeah, a lot of people jumping on that Heisman bandwagon with him right now too.
He looks pretty good, dude.
I feel like he's on jinx us or something.
He looks pretty good to me. He looks, when I was watching him on Saturday, and he's got that. You know how it is, man. You can see it when you got a confident quarterback that he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. That's what Ty Simpson looks like to me. Ty Simpson looks like he feels like he's got good command of that offense, and he is just getting more and more comfortable.
He got shook up on one play. I didn't know he was going to come back or not. They had Keelan Russell warming up. That was really a scary moment, so to speak. And I really wasn't a big fan of going into the prevent defense with 3.5 minutes left. You don't do that shit. You go into prevent defense after 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah,
it almost cost us the game. It almost cost us the game there.
Yeah.
Lonesome Dove says he don't want to do away with conference title games because if Alabama can't win the national title, I'd be happy with the SEC. I think they would shorten regular season games. They may do that. He may be right. They may just cut back on the regular season games. But my argument is that last year, if Georgia doesn't play that conference championship game and Carson Beck doesn't get injured, I don't think that Notre Dame beats Georgia. I think it affected Georgia in the playoffs. I just think it's an unnecessary risk for those teams to have to play an extra game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, well, listen, the only advantage that you get from it, which could be a big one, if it ends up being a big factor, is strength of schedule. No one's going to be able to compete with the SEC on strength of schedule, not even the Big Ten. So if that does end up being a big factor in the rankings, you'll at least get some benefit.
Penn State's troubles and demise may be a little hurtful to the Big Ten as well, because that's one playoff spot that they're definitely not going to get this year.
Oh, they're done. Yeah, they're out. They're completely out.
So Killer Breeze,
but speaking of,
exposed the soft edge of the Alabama defense. You said you agreed with that comment.
I thought it was a good point by Appalachian. I mean, listen, like I said, man, from week to week, it can change. Does Alabama have a problem on their defense? I mean, they still held Missouri to 24 points, was it? I mean, is that what it was? 27-24, right?
Yeah. And they scored that last touchdown on a prevent defense bullshit.
Yeah.
So.
And prevent defense usually just prevents you from winning. That's usually what it prevents you from. So does Alabama really have a problem? I don't know, man. Holding SEC offenses, especially, Missouri's put up a lot of points this year on folks, and holding them to 24 is pretty good.
Yeah, and one of those touchdowns we just give to them because we fumbled the ball at the beginning of the second half deep in our own territory.
Yeah.
So really that was a touchdown that was just given to them because they got the ball at the 20-yard line. So.
Yeah, I didn't like seeing the prevent defense. I watched that drive. I didn't like seeing the prevent defense because I had basically already congratulated you on the win, and then as soon as I said that, he gave up a fucking huge pass play. It got him down to the damn 2-yard line or some shit, and yeah, that was annoying. And again, I see that as poor coaching, like prevent defense. How many times have you seen a team that had a lead or a big lead at that, and started playing prevent defense and just methodically gave up yards on drives and scores, and then ultimately ended up losing? How many times? I mean, countless times at every level of football.
Oh, shit. Anyway, John Ritchie says, who does Penn State hire? And then Africa Twin here, Appalachia, says something that he knows I don't like. He says, I would do my best to hire Urban Liar. We don't call him Meyer around here. He's a big-ass liar. Urban Liar. Talk about the storylines in the Big Ten. I don't know about that, man. I think there's a little too much baggage with that dude now, man. He's done a bunch of shit that just, I don't know. I wouldn't hire him. I just wouldn't, man. I don't like him to begin with. What do you think? Killer Breeze, would you hire Urban Liar to run your program?
Well, I mean,
all the stuff
is his point basically because of the kind of the Big Ten style of football, and then also his experience in the Big Ten being the rival of Ohio State, he's just saying this is a natty level coach? Well, I think there's other natty level coaches you could get.
Well, I personally, is he still a natty level coach
though? Urban Meyer has a tendency to leave the places he's been in shambles. I mean, he's done that at more than a couple of places, and so
well, we also thought Bill Belichick was a championship level coach too.
Yeah, that's not working out. Him and his girlfriend Jordan need to excuse themselves from the room.
Call him the Cradle of Love.
The Cradle of Love.
Is that a Billy Idol song?
Rock the Cradle of Love. Hell yeah, it's a Billy Idol song. It's great.
He got right up in the cradle, didn't he?
Well,
they showed a picture of him when she was a baby. He just won his first Super Bowl. And she was in the cradle.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's about to say something. My bad. Go ahead.
Well, I know here's the thing. If I'm Penn State or any program looking for a head coach, including Oklahoma, I mean, isn't the obvious choice Cignetti in Indiana?
There you go. I wasn't convinced last year. I thought that was a fluke. But he went to Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon in Autzen. That's a tall order. I think Indiana's proven himself at this point.
And he spanked Illinois. I mean, he just embarrassed Illinois.
And he will talk smack too.
Yeah, I love that dude. I didn't realize, if you notice, I heard somebody pointing out, and then I started or maybe I noticed it first, and then I heard somebody commenting that it's a thing of his, but he's always pissed. He's always pissed off. He's always upset. He never wants to give anyone, he never wants to give his own team credit when they do good. He only wants to talk about, all the bad. I think he's kind of old school in some ways, and maybe I'm totally wrong, but man, what he's doing at Indiana is blowing my mind, because Indiana traditionally is a high school program, dude. They are horrible.
And they're all about the basketball there too. So they don't put a lot of money into their program like some of these other universities. Now they may have started doing it now since they started winning, but they usually don't have the best facilities either. Blind Squirrel Sports says, although I don't believe there's any chance he would leave his alma mater, if I was an AD looking to hire a head coach, Brent Key of Georgia Tech would be high on my list. Now, the alma mater thing matters to a degree, but if it's a middle-of-the-road team like Georgia Tech, it really don't, because if you remember back in the day, Alabama hired Bill Curry, and he went to Georgia Tech. So if it's the right school making that call, it really don't matter if that's your alma mater. So if Brent Key was up for one of these blue blood jobs, I believe he would probably give it some thought.
I mean, dude, he Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, you know, if I'm looking for a program, that's the guy I'm going after, man. That's the guy I'm going after.
Signetti.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
Signetti, Brent Key is a good candidate. I mean, Appalachia said there's also no buyout involved with Urban Meyer that would free up NIL money.
Yeah, yeah. Urban. I would never want to bring Urban into and take a chance on what he would do to the place. Sure, maybe he would win. He's proven he can win. But man, he just destroys the places that he goes, and when on his way out, they're not, you know. He just does a lot of damage. It seems like, you know. Now, and again, the Georgia Tech guy, Key. He's clearly a good coach, but the pimp coming back to Arkansas.
This Charlotte said, "Can we talk about the pimp coming back to Arkansas now?" The pimp almost beat Tennessee yesterday. The team looked a lot better. They were down 34-17.
Hey, you know,
I think if Petrino wins 3 or 4 games, if I'm Arkansas, I keep him because the first time he was there, he had him in the top 5. I would keep the pimping because pimping ain't easy. Ain't what the Godfather used to say?
Dude, you know how it is. You know how it is. You know how it is. Come on, Miss Shirley. You know how it is. You got that love in your life that when y'all get together, it's just hot as hell. And yet every time you get together, you just, you know, you fighting all the time. But then it's also equal hot time too. But then you part ways. And then at the end of the day, you just come back together because you just soulmates. That's just what it is. So maybe Arkansas just needs to admit, you know, Daddy's home, and we'll just pretend like, you know, what happened didn't happen, and hope that he can, you know, pick up where he left off because he was doing well last time before he got on that motorcycle.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's another guy that was notorious for that kind of stuff, and that was Lane Kiffin. And he was given a second and a third chance, and he's worked out pretty good at Ole Miss.
I would take Lane Kiffin in a heartbeat. If we could get Lane Kiffin, I would take Lane Kiffin in a heartbeat. I'm tired of being bad, dude. I'm just tired of it, man. And I'm starting to question.
Well, he says the right things, but sometimes just saying the right things gets old when you're not doing the right things.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, he's clearly great at defense. There's no question about that.
I mean, getting rid of DeMarco Murray and Joe John Finley at this point, I think it's a little too late. He should have done that a long time ago.
I think you're right about that, but at least if he would do it, it would give me some hope that maybe, you know, maybe Arbuckle would be better. But the play calling on game day, dude, has been lackluster. I mean, just has not been super impressive.
You got a question.
Let's say Budenbo, DeMarco, and Joe John get fired. Who do you have a short list for those jobs? Shoot, man, I haven't even really thought about that.
I think it's too late to do that. He done that last year. He got rid of his offensive coordinator and brought in a new one. He's done that a couple of times already, and now they're just going to start looking at him.
Here's what I think.
What's going to happen if he goes 8-4. I think he gets fired.
Here's what I think, man. You know, whoever we bring in to fill spots moving forward, especially if it's BV and they're cleaning house, I think there needs to be no ties to Oklahoma. Let's get some fresh blood in the building, just like when we brought Bob Stoops in.
Exactly. I was thinking about that today.
You know, and let's just, I mean, again, the great thing is this. It's going to take a long ass time, years and years and years of not winning for Oklahoma not to always be a sleeping giant. So just like when Bob Stoops came in, it clicked right away. If you get the right guy in the building, you should start seeing results pretty quick. And it should be an easy sell to the right guy. Bob Stoops was the right guy in 1998. And, you know,
I think
Like a guy like Signetti, there's no ties there. Bring in clean house. You got all new fresh blood, new ideas, new.
The thing about Signetti is people say he's a Big Ten guy. Well, he coached here at Alabama, so he's had SEC experience. He was here under Saban.
Really?
Yeah, he was here under Saban, so he's been in
okay.
the SEC. And the last guy we mentioned, Lane Kiffin, I didn't really think about, because a lot of people say, hey, why would he go from Ole Miss to Florida at this point? The way that place is just a crap show. They basically let go of Dan Mullen, who got him the SEC title game. Now he's got UNLV undefeated on the cusp of a G5 playoff spot. That's going to make Florida look really bad. So why would he do a lateral move to Florida? They're probably right about that because of the infrastructure there and just what's perceived as behind the scenes just hijinks, man. It just seems like it's so disorganized down in Florida. But Oklahoma's actually been trying to build something behind the scenes with Jim Nagy and those guys. So I think if Oklahoma were to approach Lane Kiffin, he would probably consider Oklahoma before he would Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I would hope so. First of all, I would hope so. I would hope that Lane seems like he could appreciate the history of college football. So I would hope he would want to go to Oklahoma. And again, I think Lane has matured quite a bit, man. I mean, there was a time when I would have been totally against Lane Kiffin as a coaching candidate, but he seems to get it now, and I think he's a really good coach. He certainly has always had great offense. He doesn't have he's one of those guys that you can when you watch him calling a game, man, it's fun to watch, especially when he's got good talent. And
he gets into it too, man. He'll be like pumping his fist before the play ever happens because he'll know he's got it.
Dude, he seems to be pretty damn good at coaching quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at what he's doing with this guy this year, this Chambliss guy. That guy came from a very small program, dude. I mean,
when he were at Alabama, he had Jacob Coker and that Blake guy, the black dude that was a running back and turned into a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he can develop just about anybody. He's probably more of a quarterback whisperer than your favorite guy, Lincoln Riley.
I think so. I totally think so, man. I mean, I don't even think that's debatable at this point. Lane is a good coach. I think Lane is only going to get more fun to watch. His sound bites are only going to get better as he gets older. I think he's going to be what Spurrier.
Yeah, that's definitely. I can see him being a Spurrier type, man, where he just gets worse with age when it comes to shit talking. But
I love it, dude.
Rascal, by the way, congratulations on beating Maryland the other day. In my prediction video, I actually took Nebraska, so y'all made me look good on that game. Ohio State seemed to be fine after Urban Meyer, and I agree with what Killer Breeze followed that up with. Yeah, but they got lucky. They did get lucky because if you look at what happened to Florida after he left, they're still a shit show to this day after Urban Meyer left. And they just got lucky that, Ryan Day was there.
Dude, in Jacksonville, look at what he did there. That's just embarrassing, dude.
I think he intentionally got fired, man. Who goes up and kicks their damn field goal kicker?
That's what I'm saying.
Not thinking they're going to get fired.
I swear to God, dude. If I don't care who, like, if you kick me, if another man kicks me, that is not going to go down like that. I can promise you. Maybe he ends up winning, maybe he doesn't. But shit, we throw.
It'd have to be a special person to be able to kick me and get away with it. It'd have to be somewhere along the Barry Switzer, Nick Saban, Bear Bryant kind of shit.
Listen,
kick me, man.
I'd have sweeped his leg and had him on the ground before he knew what was going on, and I'd have choked that bastard out so fast. Oh my God, man! Like, yeah, kicking another human being. That's you don't need to hear anything else. And that's and honestly, obviously, it doesn't take a rocket science to guess that wasn't all there was. There was plenty more. I mean, come on, man.
If y'all haven't already, please smash the like button and hit the subscribe button. The more we get, the bigger the party. I lost like 5 subscribers. this morning after Oklahoma lost. I'm like, what the hell did I do, man? I said at the beginning, what did I do, man? I didn't do anything except try to support Oklahoma when, I really hadn't had to. But, hey, I don't know. Why am I getting punished? Maybe they just don't want to hear it, period.
They'll be back.
They don't want to hear shit. They're just like, man, I'm done with this shit. And like you was telling me offline, screw this shit. I'm going to be a political analyst. I'm going to talk about Donald Trump. That shit's a lot less stressful than this college football crap, man.
Yeah, I was so upset this morning. I woke up this morning. I was just disgusted, man. Just disgusted, dude. And I'm just like, I know how quickly it can change. I know it's not the end of the world. I know that ultimately it'll be okay. But man, we really are staring down the barrel of starting all over with somebody again, next year.
It's a hard year to do it too, man. There's a lot of people out there looking for head coaches this year.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Florida State, I wouldn't be surprised if that guy's gone. You've already got a couple of good openings. So yeah, it might be very similar to the year that we got BV, because that year there was a ton of big openings that year too. Oklahoma, Notre Dame, there was like 4 or 5 big names signs that year. Big coaching jobs.
John Ritchie said that y'all might get Sam Pittman to take over the offensive line. That would be a pretty good hire. Sam Pittman, while he didn't work out as a head coach, he's been known as one of the greatest offensive line coaches out there. Sam Pittman, that is.
I just don't think Sam Pittman is going to go from being a head coach in the SEC to coaching the
his buyout and stuff, and his age, he's probably done.
Yeah, that's what I think. Although, but it's a fair point. If we could get Sam Pittman, I'd be thrilled about that.
Yeah, because he's really good at his job. But some coaches are just like that. They're just meant to be position coaches. Appalachia African Twin says, how would you feel about OU going after Josh Heupel at Tennessee, him being a graduate? Would they be able to get Tennessee? Would they be able to get Josh Heupel off of Tennessee? Because Tennessee's got a lot of money too.
Like I said earlier, man, I'm tired. I don't want any more OU ties. I'm over it.
If y'all would go the assistant route, I would suggest Glenn Schumann, the defensive coordinator at Georgia. He's pretty good.
Yeah, to me this time, we usually go the young assistant route. To me this time, I think you need to go get an experienced head coach. Again, Lane Kiffin, Signetti. I mean, it doesn't necessarily need to be a splash hire, although I think Signetti at this point would be splash, even though he's coming from Indiana. But it's got to be someone. I prefer it to be fresh blood.
Rascal said Lincoln Riley to Penn State. What if Oklahoma?
That would be funny.
What if Oklahoma rehired Lincoln Riley?
Hell no. Hell no. Absolutely not. No chance in hell. That would never happen.
Y'all could get the band back together, man. Y'all could make nice.
If they brought Lincoln Riley back, it's officially. I'm putting it down until he's gone.
You gonna enter transfer portal?
I will. Yeah, I am. I'm officially the other Crimson Nation officially takes over at that point. I'm just roll tide roll, baby.
That's right. And since he's doing so bad in the NFL, old Mary Caleb Williams fingernails, he could come out and be the quarterback coach.
He could. He could not. That's never going to happen either. He could, to hell with him too. He's not an OU quarterback. He's a USC Trojan, and a sad one at that. I mean, it's we gotta things gotta change, man. Things gotta change big time if BV's gonna hang on. Starting over with someone new. If it was the right coach, that'd be pretty exciting, and I don't know that we do have some. We obviously have good talent on the defensive side. I don't know what we got on the offensive side. I'd like to see if some different coaching could get some different results with those guys. Somehow something tells me that they potentially could, but
Neil Brown, I know that's a joke, but as far as people that are associated with West Virginia, they could always come up here and take
Neil Brown.
They could take Rich Rodriguez off of y'all. I mean, he's left West Virginia before, man, for a blue blood job in Michigan. So who's to say that Oklahoma won't come up here and take y'all shit just like Michigan did?
Yeah,
Rich Rod down there. He's got a good offensive mind. Oklahoma wouldn't mind having him, and he plays a little defense.
Well, look, man, again, I don't want to have to start over, but this ain't good enough. And, what I saw yesterday could easily be another 7-5, 6-7-ish,
So
season.
Appalachia says that y'all ain't got Michigan money. Do you agree with that? No.
I don't know. Obviously Michigan's a huge school, and I would imagine they got a lot of money.
Someone go ahead and bring in another guy to the show. He's been on the show before. He's our Texas connection. That being Numbskull News, maybe we can get some
Numbskull News.
You're a little close to the fire, and I'm a little close to it too. I get a little singed and burned every once in a while, being a little biased towards Oklahoma because they do help pay the bills a little bit around here. Let's bring in a Texas connection, see what he thinks about all this stuff that's going on, from the Oklahoma blame game to Penn State or another team firing their coach in the middle of the year. What's going on, Numbskull?
Longhorns suck. So what the hell's going on with OU? I was counting on OU to come in and knock their ass out the playoffs. Instead, you make Arch look like Peyton. What the hell's going on?
Posers, man. Posers. They just, again, that's what I was telling Jesse. Their offensive line has actually gotten worse over the year, and it didn't start off great. Michigan obviously is not that great. They got pretty much handled by USC, who I don't think is great either. So Oklahoma's got big problems, and so does Brent Venables, because what I saw yesterday I would make it difficult to get to win 2 more games. I don't even know if they'd be able to do that, So he's got problems. They got big problems on the offense. If that offense can't move the ball better than that, the defense can be as good as they want to be. You cannot sustain 60 minutes of football when you're only getting 4 plays of offense in a quarter. That's just too much to ask.
All I know is, like, former Big 12 schools, why the hell is A&M the best one? That pisses me off.
Yeah. And we were talking about them earlier. They might be legit. This is what they've got to finish, which they've never really been able to do in the past. But
shit, Mizzou got smacked right back down to preschool level.
They might be.
We almost shit the bed on that. We almost had to come back to beat us.
Miss Shirley, we might need to get Miss Shirley on the show. She doesn't like me. She doesn't like me talking about Oklahoma poorly. Well, I don't think I'm being unfair. I think I'm being pretty fair. I think that's accurate. It wasn't just bad on the offensive line. It was completely ineffective. Inability they had like 3 runs that were decent. 3. That was it. Meanwhile, we made Wisner look like the second coming of Earl Campbell for a little while. And, they supposedly sucked. Why were they able to? Was their offensive line, who was like a picket fence in the flood against Florida a week ago, why were they able to stop our amazing defensive front? Now, I'm not trying to say our defensive front isn't good. I think it's you could argue the best in the country. But again, they cannot. It is not you got to be more complimentary than that. You can't just have zero offense and win with great defense. You got to have some.
But Numbskull's right. The Big 12 is the old former Big 12 starting to take over the SEC a little bit. As an outsider looking in, what's your take on this whole situation, Numbskull?
Which situation?
The whole Oklahoma situation. You know, they're melting down over here. I had some unsubscribers to the channel, and they
just got knocked out of the playoffs. That's what
they're
happened.
blaming a lot of folks, but they only got one loss.
Well, you that was enough. You just got knocked out of the playoffs right there. I mean, look, you're going to get right with South Carolina, right? You'll beat South Carolina, but then you got Ole Miss. I don't know. They struggled with Washington State, but Ole Miss is a bit of a handful. Then you got Tennessee. They're tricky. They can be good. Alabama. I'm putting the money on Alabama right now.
Of course.
And, Missouri, I know Alabama got it, but Missouri's for real. And who you in the year with LSU? You may have just got knocked out. You needed to beat Texas. You needed to beat them. Wow. I wanted you to beat them. I hate Texas. I don't like Oklahoma either. But
to be fair,
I like, Oklahoma is not as big of a wine bag bastards as Texas. They want to cry and whine every time they get a pimple on their ass. I get tired. I want someone to beat their ass. I was laughing. I was laughing when Arch was looking like just a piece of shit. Name value only, no talent, hack bastard. And then y'all make him look like a first-round draft pick. Come on.
Made him look pretty good.
Well, I got to be able to count on OU to at least beat Texas.
Here's the thing. They can, if, and I don't think this is going to happen, but to be fair, even if they got one more loss, if they somehow finish the year 10-2, they go into the playoff.
There is.
But it's not going to happen. I mean, they're just, for all the reasons you just listed.
They got Georgia on the schedule, right?
It's not going. They don't have Georgia on the schedule.
I thought they did.
Who Texas does?
Texas does.
Yeah. Texas got Georgia.
I thought you meant Oklahoma. Yeah, no. Texas definitely does.
Texas definitely ain't going to
CFP. Texas ain't going.
Texas isn't going. Texas, I doubt is.
Texas loses that game. If Texas loses that game yesterday, they're out of the playoffs for sure.
OU's last 5 games are a son of a bitch. You needed to beat Texas.
I think the sad reality, Texas might not want to get too excited because you just had two really bad offenses playing each other against 2 pretty good defenses. And so Texas could easily lose a couple of more games, which wouldn't surprise me at all. Because they will probably lose to Georgia for sure, and they're going to lose to A&M probably too.
Georgia didn't look good against Auburn. They got lucky in that game. Auburn had the ball at the goal line. They supposedly fumbled the ball, but it looked like Jackson Arnold broke the plane. So Auburn got screwed by the referees again. And I don't like Auburn, but they've been getting it good, man. They've been shoving it. They've been giving them they've been screwing Auburn hard, big time.
I don't feel bad for Auburn, not one little bit, not even in the tiniest.
Yeah,
Miss Shirley, and by the way, Miss Shirley is not happy with me. Miss Shirley, I'm not trying to disrespect your boys. That's not what I'm trying to do. But
I am.
Yeah, we'll
got to admit.
We'll let Numbskull disrespect him.
Yesterday was worse than bad. Yesterday was a big problem.
Rascal says Texas Tech is the best team in Texas right now.
Shit, they are. They tear A&M a new ass right now. I'm telling you right now, they tear all of them a new ass right now.
You was talking about LSU. I'm not too convinced that LSU can beat Oklahoma. LSU's look putrid on offense.
They look bad, and they do play them in Norman. So, but again, if they can't run the ball, I don't care who they play, man. They're going to have problems.
LSU's got a good defense. So,
they're going to have serious problems.
Well, at least you ain't Penn State. Good God Almighty.
Yeah, that's
well, that academic juggernaut.
That's pretty big team.
I mean, you had to. I mean, certainly he had to expect that was going to happen, right? You can't lose to Northwestern after you lose to have a loss like you did the week before to UCLA. That's an alarming loss. And then you go lose to Northwestern. Surely you don't expect to be working there on Sunday.
No, and the chances are Penn State ain't going to find a coach any better, so they're screwed.
Man, you don't think? You don't think they have a chance?
Franklin's a hell of a coach.
You think he's a good coach?
I think he's good.
I mean, I don't think he's a bad coach. I don't think he's a bad coach.
Maybe good at Vanderbilt again. Well,
I mean, look, they don't have satchels full of cash in the back of the school for all these players before NIL, like Ohio State did and like Michigan did. You know, They didn't do as much of that. Now, there was a lot of shower time going on at Penn State. Maybe this is a come up for that shit. Finally, a little self-inflicted death penalty. That's what I see for Penn State, the next Nebraska.
Well, they are. It's going to be interesting to see what they do from here on out.
There's a lot of big name jobs open. A lot of big name jobs. I mean, it's going to be hard to get a good one.
Yeah, because Florida.
Oklahoma State's open.
Okie chokie pokey state.
Yeah, Franklin. Boy, that sounds like a Cowboys head coach, doesn't it?
They could trade. They could do like UCLA and Tennessee did with the quarterbacks. They could give James Franklin to Oklahoma State and Mike Gundy to Penn State.
Yeah. Gundy needs to do something.
Well, and all of a sudden, Nico looks like he's kind of playing some decent football all of a sudden.
For what team?
Yeah, for UCLA. Didn't he have a pretty good game? He had a good game against Penn State, and then didn't he have a pretty good game yesterday? Which I hate.
I don't watch that West Coast bullshit.
Drew Alalar got injured in that game too, so it was like a double whammy. They lost their quarterback and their coach.
Oh, did Aguilar got hurt? I didn't hear that.
Not Aguilar, Drew Alar, the Penn State quarterback. Got injured. AC 603 in the house says, hope all is well. Everyone just subscribe. Appreciate that. I was going to ask you about Alabama. I mean, numbskull. I mean, after that horrific loss to a 2-10 team last year, it seems like Alabama's righted the ship a little bit, but you just never know, man. I mean, what do you think about Alabama going forward?
Sons of bitch in Alabama, Crimson Tide, man. I can't count on shit. I wanted them to fall. I'm like, hey, you hired this shitty ass West Coast, coach and all this and that. And I thought, I was picking Missouri to, go to the conference title game. I'm like, Missouri looks good. Boy, no. The game started hot for Missouri, seven quick points. Ooh. Here comes Alabama. They said, fuck you. We're throwing 17 unanswered on you real quick. I was like, well, shit. So here we go. Roll fucking Tide again.
Missouri hadn't beat Alabama since 1975.
Shit. Alabama's winning that conference this year.
I don't know, man. Looking rough. Our starting running back might be out, and our running game had been
you got 10 of them behind them? What the hell are you talking about?
Our running game had been pretty bad at the beginning of the year, and it was starting to get better.
Look at TCU's running game. Look at TCU's running game. They got 5 yards the whole damn year. -5 the whole year.
Who's that y'all lost to the other day?
Fucking everybody. Right now, it's fucking everybody.
I thought y'all were 4-1.
No, 2 now. 2.
Yeah, y'all lost to Kansas State, right?
Freaking Kansas State going up there. Because them dumb sons of bitches don't know how to get off to a good start.
You never know what you're going to get with Kansas State, do you?
Well, they're supposed to be good, but their quarterback, he doesn't know how to evolve into a better quarterback. So he just is what he is, which that means he's a good quarterback every other Saturday. That's what he is. He's good every other. If you can cover him every other Saturday, they'll go a long way. But he ain't going to get no better. He should have been better already, but he ain't. That's Kansas State. That's Kansas State. They're just going to let you down.
Seems like every team that goes over there to Ireland and loses every year, they end up shitting the bed for the rest of the year. That's what happened to Florida State when they lost to Georgia Tech.
It's dumb to go play games in across, in another country. That's ridiculous. It's
One
one thing.
stadium full of people. I'm like, man, they probably paid a bunch of people to come here and give them a bunch of flags.
Jimbo
It's
Fisher.
one thing if you're trying to, if you're the NFL and you're trying to expand the league and, you're trying to break into markets, but what in the hell are you doing? You ain't breaking into you're not expanding your college fan base in Europe. I mean, so what's the point?
Then
I
what
don't
do you
know.
think about
K-State
the college football guy here?
K-State and Iowa State got pretty good ratings out of there.
That college football guy said Jimbo Fisher to Penn State.
I didn't know Jimbo Fisher was still alive.
Well, that would be right up. I mean, if Penn State wants to keep on keeping on, then bring old Jimbo in. It'll just be James Franklin, maybe not even James Franklin 2.0. It might not even be that good.
If I got a $75 million buyout, I wouldn't be coaching ever again.
Hell no.
The hell with that. I'd be like Jimmy
Yeah.
Johnson, man, living on a yacht.
He was so good they paid $75 million just for you to go the hell away.
Yeah, there's no point. Absolutely none.
No, who was last Iowa State coach? Not Iowa State, sorry, Ohio State, Florida. The guy who embarrassed himself in the NFL.
Yeah, Urban Liar.
Yeah. There you go. Get you some Urban Meyer going.
Urban Liar.
I'm sure he would love to come back somewhere. He still lurks.
Well, John Gruden's been begging for a job. He even was wearing some
you know what?
shit.
Now, hey, I would take John Gruden in a heartbeat. I would love John Gruden to be.
You ain't worried about that Bill Belichick thing coming out with John Gruden?
No, I don't give a shit about that.
John Gruden's a lot younger too, so
give John Gruden that Florida job.
Bill waited way too late.
I think John Gruden would be a great college coach if he can keep up with the recruiting. I think he would be great.
Keep him in Florida.
Imagine Chucky on the sideline. It'd be awesome.
AC 603 says, I don't think they're playing up to standards of Saban. Wouldn't stand for this, but we still got a lot of work to do. Nobody's going to be able to live up to that standard. It's a little unfair to think that you're going to have a coach come in here and win 6 more national titles. I don't see that shit happening.
No, Saban's there's only one of those guys.
That's right. Miss Shirley says, who the fuck is this numbskull guy with his fancy hair and beard? That's a compliment.
Oh.
You got your groupie.
There you go.
She's going to be in the numbskull groupie.
Mom told me this shit was sexy. I didn't believe her till now.
It's pretty damn swift there. It's pretty cool, man. I'm going to have to grow my shit out like that. I got some gray hair, too. I got the Hulk Hogan shit going on.
See, I started going gray at 19. The hell are you supposed to do? I'm just glad I still got hair.
Yeah, you should be.
Like an American Idol guy that won the shit. He had gray hair, supposedly 29 years old.
Who?
That guy that won American Idol. His name was Taylor something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Taylor Hicks.
Yeah, Taylor Hicks. He like a full head of gray hair, man. You're not allowed to participate if you're over the age of 28 or 29. And he had a full gray hair.
The only worth a damn singer they ever had.
He's close to your neck of the woods, isn't he, JPC?
Yeah, Steve. He's from Alabama. Yeah, he is. Just like Ruben Studdard was. He won it too.
Ruben Studdard, Clay and Ruben, huh?
Who's that old girl that won the first one? The one, the big name one.
Second one. Yeah.
No. The chick that won it first.
Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah. She's from my town.
Carrie Underwood was the other big name that won it.
Kelly Clarkson was always kind of cute. She was a little, had a little chubbiness to her. It was she held well. She got
she's a little chunky. That she loses some weight. She's the cutest one of them all.
Yeah, she's cute.
Cuter than Ruben Studdard, I'll tell you that.
It's got to be. It's going to have to be a prerequisite from now on that you got to have a little gray in your beard to be on this show, because we all three got some gray going on.
No, quite a bit. Quite a bit. Somehow my mustache is staying black. I don't know how, because everything else is.
Well, Miss Shirley, all I can tell you is the carpets don't match the drapes. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, I'm still 25 down there.
I love it. Miss Shirley, what you think about that?
She claims she's not flirting. She's just stating facts, but I don't believe her.
Hey,
It's okay to flirt a little bit. We won't tell
It
you.
ain't hurt nobody.
We won't tell nobody. It's a secret. We'll keep it a secret.
first time I've heard fancy hair and beard. That's all I know.
You fancy, man. You're the fancy horn frog, horny toad there. He's old horny toad.
That's right.
Steve S. with 2 lizards beside his name says OU hasn't scored a TD in Texas in over 700 days.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Unacceptable.
That's
what I'm
one hell of
saying,
a
man.
That's one hell of a factoid to pull out of your ass. What is that? 700 days. There is an off season. The fuck.
Yeah, the off-season counts too, I guess. I guess we're counting spring break and everything.
Leap year. The fuck.
It's not good. It's not good.
This is a statement I agree with. Refs are horrible all around this year. Yeah, they're horrible every game. No matter if it's Alabama, TCU, Oklahoma, Slippery Rock. They all suck, man. It's because they ain't full-time. They need to make them full-time and make it to where they have a reason to do a good job, I guess, instead of these part-time lawyers that come in and do the damn games.
Yeah. Big 12 refs are horrible. Notoriously freaking horrible.
They're all bad.
Remember, they really put the screws to Texas and Oklahoma there last year in the Big 12.
They're all bad.
They give y'all a little going away precedent. Although Texas did take your Big 12 title and run off with it like.
Yeah,
Well, as long as they leave, I don't give a shit.
They done it like Ric Flair. Ric Flair left WCW and took off with the belt. WWE.
Old Rick not
Oklahoma
doing
State.
so well days.
Oklahoma State refuses to play Oklahoma now. They got that damn Bedlam trophy and they're not giving it back. So they ain't gonna schedule y'all again.
I'm good with that. I'm fine with that.
Oh, they'll do Bedlam again one day.
They will. They're already.
But hurt for now.
I think they're already talking about it.
Yeah, they'll do it.
I think they're already talking about it now that but I would hate to see that become an annual thing.
So
Nah, it ain't gonna be like it was.
Is there one dominant team this year that y'all just can look at and say, hey, that's the team that's going to win the national title? Because I thought it was Ohio State, but then they sort of struggled against Illinois last week.
No, I don't. I think every team out there has flaws. Every one of them. Ohio State may have the least, maybe, but they're beatable. Obviously, Texas hung with them.
It's whoever turns it on in that playoff. It's that second season now.
Yeah, and it makes you want to not be a top 4 seed because you don't get a home game. I'd rather be a 5 to 8 seed so I can get a home game. I'd rather play an extra game. I'm just saying. Especially for me here in Tuscaloosa, man. That'd be a nice economic boom in the middle of December when all the students leave. We have a game here in the middle of December, which has never happened. That'd be great for Tuscaloosa.
I think it'd be great, as many playoff games that you can play at one of the team's stadium, man. Home game, playoff games are going to be awesome. I'd like to see a little more of that too, which is why I think they're going to definitely expand to 16 as soon as they can.
What about 24?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, but the thing is, like, you can at that point you can also say, well, why not 32? Like it's and you have the same. I mean, it's going to end up being just like the basketball thing at a certain point. Obviously, I don't think it's going to get to 64, but
you need more time to recover in football. You can't be playing that many playoff games.
Well, that's
why I think 24 is the sweet spot.
Think so?
Yeah, 4 AQs for everybody. Like that bullshit last year, we all only, SEC only got three 3 teams in. You ain't got to worry about that shit no more. Then you got 6 other at larges. Y'all be 5, 6, 7 deep every year.
Well, everybody would get an opportunity at that point. They wouldn't have an excuse, right?
Then you got the play-ins. See, that'd be badass. 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5.
They'd have to
You
cut
get in the playoff?
they would have to cut some of the regular season games out of the conference title game, wouldn't you think? That'd be too many games.
Play in December. These guys are 18, 19, 20. Fuck them. They can play. Got like 110 fucking kids on the squad. Kiss my ass. But I get tired of all that. Oh, let's pour rain out of our eyes for these young men. Now they're making a shit ton of money too. Kiss my redneck ass with that.
And they all have the best of the best when it comes to medical treatment and rehab and all of that. Conditioning, diet, like it's all laid out for them now, man. Like,
oh Lord, they're gonna play 14 games, 15 games, 16 games. Oh,
I told you.
Shut up.
And now you can play until you're 27 or 28 years old, like Diego Pavia.
There needs to be a damn limit.
And make good money doing it. I mean, you know, like for some of these guys that are never going to really have any kind of pro career, but they happen to be great in college, they can make life-changing money.
Yeah, you can make some money in college and not have to go to the NFL and worry about getting CTE. Just invest your money right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Dude, I mean, think about it. Like, you don't even have to be great in college, and you can get $1.5 to $2 million a year if you're a quarterback. You know, like,
well, that's always the case with those bastards.
It's crazy though. So you can make $6 to $8 million in a 4-year career.
Look at Dak Prescott.
Yeah,
he makes more money than third world countries, their GDP, and he ain't worth a damn.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's all right, but good God Almighty, $60 million a year?
No, for sure.
$60 million? Patrick Mahomes don't make that money.
No, for sure. It's ridiculous.
Nick Saban said something pretty stupid the other day. He was on Pat McAfee's show, and he was talking about, they need to try to get a college education because they might not have nothing to look forward to after college. And Pat McAfee's like, wait a minute, man, they got about $700,000 when they leave. And he's like, well, that's not life-changing money. I'm like, what? Hold on, Nick. $700,000 may not be life-changing money for you, Bubba. You making maybe you got a net worth of $50 million, but $700,000 is life-changing money if you invest it right, and that's exactly what Pat McAfee said.
You can get a good college education for like $20,000 of that.
Exactly.
Anywhere, community college, you can get a good job with that. But the rest of boy, deep pockets, Nick.
$700,000 is absolutely life-changing money.
Well, to us broke sons of bitches, it is. To all of them, they wipe their ass with $700,000.
I would do some unholy stuff for $700,000.
Tennis Girl says, Rocky Flop. Never seen you in here before, Tennis Girl. Appreciate you coming up in here. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Tennis Girl also says, roll, Tide, roll.
Yes, she did. I like tennis. I used to play tennis in high school. Don't tell nobody.
Tennis is cool.
It'll wear your ass out now. I ain't gonna lie to you. Here's probably the best screen name in here today. Ricky Bobby is in the house.
I just wake up every morning and piss excellence.
If you ain't first, you last, right?
Yeah.
You don't, you big red, fuck you.
I'm an American winning machine.
Offensive line is poorly coached, and I don't think Ben Arbuckle's the right guy. After just one loss?
Well, it's not just that, dude. The offense, Ben Arbuckle's offense so far.
Y'all beat Auburn. Y'all cheated to beat Auburn, according to Auburn. But y'all beat Michigan and Auburn, right?
Offense just has not looked great, man. I mean, it just hasn't. And I mean, I expected more from Ben Arbuckle. Again, I said early on when BV hired this guy, he better know what he's doing because this dude has very little resume. He has almost zero experience. He's got a couple of good years at some small level programs and certainly doesn't have a continued track record of success anywhere as a coach. I mean, 7 years ago, he wasn't even wasn't coaching. So I had questions, and so far, it looks like those questions were for good reason.
Just a random question, y'all, as outsiders looking in. Do you think Kalen DeBoer, if he succeeds, that he might try the NFL? Because he seems like an NFL type coach.
I could see that.
And he's got a house in Seattle. So
if he were to win a natty at Alabama, I could see him being short in the tooth after that.
Does he seem like an NFL type coach to you, numbskull?
Yeah, he's got to stick up his ass. I'd say so.
Why he got to stick up his ass?
He just looks like it. You see him walk? Anyway.
Looks like he needs to shave his head. He needs to do that. He needs to shave that head because he's losing all that hair.
As far as Arbuckle's concerned, if your name's Arbuckle, you better be good. Because that's just a shitty ass name. Arbuckle.
Sounds like some kind of movie star or something.
It's a nature reserve in North Texas. Arbuckle Wilderness.
Nature reserve, huh?
He's in the wilderness.
That's where all the animals can go and shit and not worry about getting shot, right?
Oh, Miss Shirley got a problem with Dak, huh?
Yeah, she said don't bring up Dak or you'll trigger her Tourette. She's a big Dallas Cowboys fan. I think.
So am I.
Yeah, there you go.
You should be on my side. We need better for that money. Trade Dak.
Y'all still got Dax.
Who? Dak? Yeah.
Y'all still got him. I didn't know that.
We shouldn't, but we do.
Okay, y'all be better off getting AJ McCarron or something.
Hold on. Is Dak Prescott slipping Miss Shirley some money on the side? Is that what's going on?
I think she don't like him. I think she's just like you. She's like, don't bring his ass up because she's pissed off that y'all still stuck.
Says Dak sucks.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm with you, Miss Shirley. We're on the same page. Should have traded his ass a long time ago. 4th round Mississippi State mother. You know what I'm saying.
It is strange that they have kept him around this long.
They knew he wasn't. That's why they gave him the damn. They tagged him. They knew it. They knew what he was. They knew he was just a black Kirk Cousins. They knew that.
I ain't never heard him call a black Kirk Cousins. That's pretty good. I'm gonna use that shit.
That's what he is. Kirk Cousins.
Damn.
He might not even be as good as a black Kirk Cousins, to be honest.
Hell, Tony Romo was better than him.
Y'all should have kept Tony Romo. To kick in.
Y'all should have kept Tony Romo, man. Y'all shouldn't have run Tony off.
Yeah.
Romo's back was broken.
Y'all done triggered Miss Shirley's Tourette's.
Just because Tony Romo couldn't hold the ball for an extra point, man. Y'all gonna hold it against Tony Romo, man.
He shouldn't be the damn holder.
He should be a holder. You're right.
That's that stupid ass, overrated, fat fucking coach we had. The Big Tuna. Most overrated SOB we ever had in Dallas, Texas. What an idiot.
That's who's going to be
past his prime. Leave his ass in New York.
Who's your coach now? What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Bill Parcells.
Bill Parcells your coach now? Who's your coach?
That's what he was back then.
Yeah, who's your coach now?
Oh, some dumbass. I don't know. Look, I don't even give a shit.
Y'all might be able to take Kalen DeBoer off of us.
Maybe. We fired Fat Boy, then brought in some guy no one else wanted. Well, that shit sound familiar? It does to me.
Y'all could hire another Oklahoma coach like y'all did with Barry Switzer. Y'all could take Brent Venables.
No, their coach is you know who their coach is.
I don't know. I'm not an NFL guy. Who is their coach?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I remember they hired him as an assistant. They did all that shit, and then they hired an assistant off the staff, the losing staff. Like, what the hell?
I didn't understand it. Again, I questioned Jerry, like, at a certain point, you got to really wonder, is he really trying to win? I mean, or does he just want to constantly keep the team in the news? Like, I honestly don't know, man, because, like, this is weird now. Like,
dude, we had a badass defensive coordinator. He should have been the head coach. We let him go to the Redskins because I'm not calling them the freaking Commanders or the freaking Redskins. He goes there, and all of a sudden they're kicking ass, and we suck, and we got the worst defense in Dallas Cowboy freaking history. Thanks, Jerry. Why can't you hire a good coach, you bastard?
Maybe y'all should change your nickname, man, because that's an insult to Caucasians.
Nah, we earned that shit. It's America's team.
If you can't be the Indians, you can't be the Cowboys, man. That's not right. That's unfair. Right?
It's fair. It's a
That's
fair
all-
point.
They're going back to the Redskins. You watch. Trump's going to make it happen.
They should. I mean, there's a lot of Indian people who are pissed off about that for real.
Because here's the funny thing. You know who named them the Redskins? Native Americans named themselves
Exactly.
the Redskins. It
There you
wasn't it wasn't
Well,
a
that
bad
guy-
thing.
That guy that used to be on their helmet was a real Indian chief. He wasn't like a myth. It was like a real dude. They were proud of it, like having him on the fucking helmet. So,
And it was a Native American artist who made the shit.
you know,
And they named the team the Redskins after their first head coach, who was a Native American. They named it after him. After they named the damn team after him to celebrate him. That'd be like,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
That'd be
Yeah.
like,
a bunch of damn white people that suck, don't
Yeah,
know shit, don't know any history.
they ain't got nothing else better to do, right?
Nope.
I guess they're gonna go after the Fighting Irish next, right? I mean, maybe that's an insult to the Irish people. Notre Dame, I don't know. That sucks. We need the Cowboys and Redskins again. Woke bullshit. Hell,
No, it's coming back. He'll come back. And Dak ain't going to come back. We got all these damn first-round draft picks now. We're going to get us a damn quarterback. That's why you do it.
Ricky Bobby said he's smoking him a hog leg. You smoking a hog today?
Is that a gay reference?
Yeah, I don't know. Never heard that.
He's smoking a joint.
Oh,
Word of a guy having a hog leg. And if you're smoking that, you know.
Killer Breeze is our resident translator for pot stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's fair. That's fair. I've got a lot of experience.
That's right. All right, guys, I'm fixing to get up out of here, man. Y'all got anything?
All right, man.
Before I leave?
Now it's good seeing y'all. Oklahoma's got a long way to go, Miss Shirley. A long way to go.
Well, we'll all say a prayer for good old OU. But
Yeah, I know
I
that's
think it's
not
over.
gonna happen.
Yeah, poor old OU. They're only
Yeah, I
five.
know there ain't nobody feeling sorry for Oklahoma, and nor should they.
There's
They
always
need to
next year.
Wait.
2026 is right around the corner.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
always
wait.
next year.
I can't wait. See y'all later.
All right, brother.
But
Anything else you want to add, brother, before we get up out of here?
oh, that's about it. I can't even root for any of my damn home teams right now. They all suck nuts right now.
Well, I don't understand about the whole Oklahoma thing. I mean, why everybody's giving them up for dead. They're 5-1. I mean, it ain't like they're out of
You
it.
see that schedule?
Yeah.
You see that damn schedule?
Well,
That's why.
Some of those teams ain't looking as strong anymore. South Carolina and LSU look pretty doable. So,
Yeah, but LSU's at the end. Then you got South Carolina up next.
you're right. You're
I
right.
mean-
What do you think he's got to do to keep his job? 9-3?
Beat Alabama.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Beat Alabama.
We play
That
them
go
for
a long
homecoming.
way.
We got them for homecoming, man. I don't want to see that.
End the season 10-2 with that schedule, you'll keep your job.
Why don't you let us know where we can find you, brother? You got your own channel as well.
There's Numbskull News, YouTube, and on X. Miss Shirley, check me out. See that gray hair all over the place.
Right, that Silver Fox is
Yeah.
on the
Ah.
channel every single time. All right, brother. I appreciate you coming up in here.
Oh, yeah, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, the invite.
That's right. We'll check you later.
All right, man. Take it easy.
And that was Killer Breeze and Numbskull News. Killer Breeze is the consummate Oklahoma roughneck. And Numbskull News, as he told you, he's got his own channel. He likes to talk a lot of smack. He's sort of like me in a way. Talks a lot of smack, but at the same time, he intertwines it with some pretty educated takes on conference realignment. And yes, he's a TCU fan, but we all can't be perfect. No, not everybody's perfect. So, you got to excuse him for being a horny toad. But Ricky Barbie says, fire Brent Venables. Miss Shirley says, we are not firing BV, damn it. And on that note, I'm going to get up out of here. KMCA to all the other teams. Like, share, comment, subscribe to this channel. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, money $sign JPC316 down here because I got demonetized for resharing Charlie Kirk videos until December 14th. Class is now dismissed.